What up, guys? Girl Mina, Zena. Yo, I got this white stuff all over my shirt. I was cooking in the kitchen, putting in that work. Guys, it's 3 p.m. in New York City, and the sun is going down. Welcome to Gotham. It's going down. Welcome to the humble abode of Amina Zena. Yes, I'm home alone on a Sunday, and I love it. Okay, so pretty much I'm going to talk about I've been living in New York for 7.5 years and what it's been like, because I always wanted to make a video like this. I want to give you guys some tips. Maybe you're thinking about moving to New York. Just don't. How about that? Video's over. Now I'm going to tell you what it's really been like. It's been a crazy ride for me. It's been wild as fuck. Wild as fuck doesn't even describe New York City. New York City is a fucking beast. It is the jungle. It's gonna take everything you got to make it out here, boo. This place ain't no game. But it can be fun. It can be fun. But it can also be way too much. It is literally the best way I can describe New York City, what it's like to live here. And I live in Manhattan. I live on the island. It is like, you know, the top part of the roller coaster, and you about to go down, you get that little adrenaline boost, like right there, it's the drop. New York City every day is a drop of the roller coaster. That is what it's like. The second you step out on the street, you in the streets, fam. Like, the second I step out on the streets, like, I'm in the city. I'm in New York City. It's too much. It's too much. But let me tell you how I've been making it. I came here to work in TV, the TV industry, yo. When I moved here, I didn't have no fucking money. I moved here with $2,000. Guys, nah, you're not gonna make it on $2,000. Like, I don't know. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. If you are really about something and you really believe in yourself, the universe is gonna make it happen. This has happened to me so many times. Like, moving to New York City was literally the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. But it paid off pretty well. So I originally came to work in the TV industry. I had this job as a production assistant, and like, I was gonna be in the TV industry. I was gonna be a TV producer, but it was never something I don't know. I don't know, I just thought I was going to be a trainer instead. So I quit my job as a TV producer and I became a personal trainer. Yes, I did. I got a job at a really good gym. I started training people. I eventually went on my own. I started teaching group fitness classes, and it all just like started working out. But the first year was literally hell, guys. The first year of living in New York City is the most hellish, unhumane, terrible, poor, lonely, isolating. Like, it'll make you or break you. Okay, I think I was in and out of like 5 different apartments, like living off strangers' couches I met off the internet, and just like all these side jobs. I was working at the club, but I was working like coat check, and I was selling bottles one night, and I was training people. I was getting my business up as a personal trainer, but quitting that job that I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I like literally turned down a salaried job to go hustle in the streets of New York because I was naive. I was so naive. But I'm glad I was naive, because now I can fend for my own. Like, I've been on this, independent contractor vibe for 7.5 years. And I learned that living in New York, it's pretty easy to work for yourself. It's actually the best thing to do. Is, I think, even if you have like a 9 to 5, let's say you're an accountant or you work, at a corporate job, still do something on the side, because in New York, the demand out here for almost any market is there. Okay, you can do anything in New York. It's true. There's room for any business in New York. Like, I haven't had to go very far. I haven't had to leave New York for anything. Like, I'm thinking about it. Like, in West Virginia, I grew up in West Virginia, guys. I'll give you some background. I grew up in West Virginia, Morgantown, which is like the college town. So it had a little bit of flavor, like that much flavor. But you know what I'm saying? It was better than having no flavor. So we still had to drive like an hour away to get to like a bookstore where I could get the CDs I wanted, right? When I was a kid, before the internet, like, you had to buy CDs. We had to drive like an hour to Pittsburgh to get, Sephora. Like, there's no Sephora in my hometown. Like, there's not even like a direct flight to my hometown. Like, you see what I'm saying? Whereas in New York City, there's a direct flight every 30 minutes from any country in the world. Like, you can get to New York really easily. Everything's here in New York. Every business, every industry, anything you can think of, any bizarre, random thing you could think of. Like, I know that there's like full-time psychics in New York. Like, I can think of like 5 of my friends that are like full-time psychics in New York City. Like, got like a condo in Harlem and living good, traveling a few times a year off his psychic money. Like, that is New York City. That's why sometimes people are like, they'll ask me, like, do you have like a side hustle? I'm like, you don't really, you have a multiple hustles in New York, I think. Like, I think everybody here does multiple things, but you can do one or two things out here and make pretty good money. Like, really, you can make whatever money you want in New York. That is the number one advantage, you know. But with the internet now, I feel like if you're somebody trying to start a business, now that the internet is really on point with how to make money, I don't see New York as a super appealing place as I used to before the internet really popped off. So the money's still here. This is the home of the most millionaires and billionaires on the planet. But at the same time, you can make a lot of money on the internet now. I think there's certain other cities in the world that kind of have that vibe. Like, I feel like London, you can make a lot of money. I think like Tokyo, any major city, I feel like you can make a lot of money. But now with the internet, I don't know if these cities are going to last. Now, New York will probably always last because it has so much culture, it has so much food. But it's dirty as hell, guys. It stank. New York City stank. It really smells. It really, really needs a bath. Like, honestly, I think as a survival mechanism, most people in New York, like, you lose a sense of smell, and you also end up losing, like, this sense of taste as a result. Like, in New York City, the smells are so bad that if your body would continue to allow you to smell it at its full state, I think you'd be nauseous and sick every day. I think New York City smells on a level that is indescribable. Like, I actually remember the first day I moved here, I touched down, I was in Brooklyn at the time. So I moved to Brooklyn at the time. I was there for 4 months, and then I've been living in Manhattan ever since. So I've been living in Manhattan for 7 years. But I originally lived in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, do or die, for 4 months. And as soon as I got out of the car, I started taking a walk. And I was like, wow, what's that smell? I thought I'd stepped in dog poop. I was looking at my shoes. I thought, like, you know, do I need a shower? That I can't smell that bad. Like, I just remember walking blocks and blocks and blocks, trying to escape this smell. And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, whoa, this is actually how New York City smells. And then I had a friend, it's crazy, after I lived here a few years, she came up and stayed with me, and she was saying the same thing. She's like, what is that smell? I can't take it. You know, it's her first time, like, living in New York. I think when you come for, like, a few days, you're in Times Square, you're just, like, in such a rush, and you're so crazy and happy and fun, maybe you notice the smells. But I think once you actually decide to live here, the first thing you notice is that smell that just ain't going nowhere until eventually you just adapt to it. And that's the most disgusting thing to think about, that I would adapt to the smell in New York. Like, it is so bad that I've spent over a minute in this video talking about it, guys. I want you to be very, very aware of how terrible New York City smells. If you're thinking about living here or spending extended time here, that will be a real issue. Same with the noise. Like, it's not really like, haha, it's loud. It's like, no, it's loud. Like, you might want to get earplugs. Like, I have to sleep with earplugs at night or I won't sleep. Like, that's the reality of New York. It's like, it is so loud that I think that if you stay here for a long time, you will suffer hearing loss. I know you would. This city, and the trains and the honking and the garbage trucks and everything, you're going to suffer hearing loss if you live here long term. That's why I'm really kind of like, I'm always wearing earring plugs because I'm a DJ producer, guys. I can't afford to lose my ears. Cannot afford to lose my ears. So yeah, like, those two things you really have to understand. Like, I know it might sound funny, but that shit, the way this place stink and the way how loud it is actually a biohazard. It's a biohazard. Like, those two things alone, the smell and the noise level, woo, child, they don't tell you that before you move here. They keep that on the hush-hush, because if you knew how extreme the smells and the noise are, it would be a deterrent. Honestly, I don't know how the fuck anybody lives here for more than 10 years. I said I was going to live here 5 to 10 years max, okay? And I'm on year 7.5, so I'm doing pretty good. I will not be here for 10 years. Nope. There's no way I'm going to be here for 10 years. Yeah. 5 to 10 was a good guesstimate. I think 6 is good. I think 6 years really taught me everything. I think I got all the benefits. I think, you know, I stacked up. I'll tell you what I've been doing. I'm a trainer / DJ. I came and I was a trainer. I think I talked about that. I was a trainer. I'm a DJ. I've been able to travel. I've been able to, you know, financially it's been cool. You can make whatever money you want here, and you can be whoever you want here. Let's talk about that. You can be whoever the fuck you want. You can have pink hair. You can have blue hair. You can be a dude that paints his nails and wear a dress, and nobody's even going to think twice. As a matter of fact, You can be so much of who you are here in any job. That's the thing I do like. I feel like now I've never had a corporate job, so maybe I'm taking it too far. But I feel like I see people with office jobs, at least that I know, like maybe I'm thinking because I know a lot of music industry executives, but they'll have like tattoos and they can have piercings and they can wear red lipstick and they can wear their hair however they want. Like I feel like everyone here looks cool and edgy. The fashion game in New York City is sick. Like the fashion, the swag, the art is dope. I will give New York that. The fashion scene out here is lit. I spent way too much money on clothes. Oh my gosh, I think I've spent like thousands on clothes. I don't even want to think about it. I haven't shopped in 2018. It dawned on me. I was like looking through my closet, looking at how much like clothing I bought. I'm not shopping, I think, until 2020. I think I can make it till 2020 without shopping. And I could still have new stuff. Like I could still pull out new stuff out of my closet or outfits that feel new because I wore them once. Because New York City, the fashion game out here is strong. Strong, 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 strong. I was never a sneaker person. I never had a pair of sneakers before moving to New York. Like not a pair of fashionable, cool ones. I always had like running Asics shoes for gym class. But I never had sneakers. So I came to New York, I got my sneakers. I never had black clothing. You're going to have a lot of black clothing in New York because it's so dirty. Like that's really why. It's not because black is a cool color. I mean, it's a cool color, but like it's because New York's so dirty, and if you lean up on anything, it won't show. You have a white coat in New York, you got about 3 months on that if you decide to wear it daily. Now I have a lot of tan coats that I'll wear like twice in the winter season. Yeah, because it's that dirty on the trains. And you could take cabs all the time. I've done the whole cab thing, but then you end up spending way too much money, and a lot of times you don't get there faster. I broke my foot, which was like my biggest fear. It was like breaking my foot in New York. Wow, I broke my foot last year. It's healed, thank God. But during that time, I had to take cabs everywhere, and that shit ended up being like $5,000-$6,000. Like it's not, and to still be rushed, to still get that seasickness, to still feel the stress of traffic and the pressure of trying to get somewhere on time. Cabs are only this much better than taking the train, honestly, for me. Like for what it's worth, it's still going to be crazy traffic, congestion, and loudness. Like you're not avoiding that much by taking a cab. Sorry for anybody that drives Uber. Sometimes you have to take a cab though. That's the truth. I take Via, I take the Uber pools, I take the ride shares. Every now and then I get my own private ride, but I'm so used to just riding with other people that fuck it. Having one other person in the back seat who I'm not going to make eye contact with to save $18 is fine with me. Like, because the cab rides out here are stupid expensive. Stupid. And I don't care how much money I make, you guys. Like, I don't care if I'm making $3,000 million a year. 300 million thousand a year. You know, a $45 cab ride to get down to 14th Street, it shouldn't be $35. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the cab rides here, a 15, 20-minute trip will end up costing you like $40, $50. It doesn't make sense. You're not using that much worth of gas. It's a 10-minute ride. There's no reason it needs to be $45. Like, but that's the reality in New York. I can get on the train and get there in 15 minutes, or I can take a cab and get there in 8 minutes. That's usually when you look at the Google Maps, it's always like a cab is like 8 minutes faster, usually. Something like that. It's never enough. It's usually, unless you're running late, or honestly, okay. The only times I really take cabs are when I'm like DJing, because I'm not taking the train at 2, 3 a.m. I'm not taking the train at 2, 3 a.m. It's open, you can take the train, but it's when all the homeless people live on the train. This is not an opinion, this is the fact. There's a lot of homeless people that just live on the subway between the hours of 11 p.m. and like 5 a.m. That's for homeless people. Like, that's where they live, on the subway. Y'all can feel offended, but that's just the truth. And sometimes I'll take the train at those hours, but I'm always just like, every single time. I think I've lived in New York 7.5 years. I think I've taken the train between the hours of 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. like 12 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, a few times because maybe I was going through something in my head where I felt like financially I couldn't afford this, the $17, which, bitch, stop. But sometimes it's just like, damn, like, I'm not in a rush to get home. I don't want to pay $28 to get home. That just seems too much. And then you get on the train and you wait 30 minutes for the train, and then you're surrounded by like 10 guys rocking back and forth talking to themselves, and you're like, damn, I should have just spent the $28. So now I spend the $28 to get home, but I resent it, right? And then when I go to the club as a DJ, I don't like to take the train. That feels whack. Like, I know that sounds bougie, but as a DJ, you have to create the vibe for the night, right? As a DJ, you are the vibe. And I'm not going to have a good vibe if I take the train to get there. The train is utility. To get to the gym, I'll take the train. I'm about to sweat anyways. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be working, and cool. I'll get on the train in my nasty-ass gym clothes that I plan on wearing once and washing, and that's it. But you know what I'm talking about? I got my nice designer outfit on. I got my laptop. I got my swag together. I'm not trying to sweat being in the train, having my ears all fucked up before my set with the screeching brakes. So yeah, before a DJ set and after the DJ set, I take cabs. So this is all right. Even to be even more bougie, before the DJ set, I gotta take the Uber X. That is the one time. I don't need anybody in my car with me. I need to feel like I'm pulling up to the club, like I'm on it. So yes, I pull up to the club in a cab, but going home later that night, I take an Uber pool because it's 4 a.m. I don't have to be anywhere, and yeah, I'll take Uber pool. You know what I mean? Anyways, though, that's the transportation vibe. Don't even consider riding a bike. You'll die. Everybody I know that rides bikes in New York has been hit. Every single person. There's people that I know that don't ride bikes. I know 8 people that have been hit by cars in New York. That's another thing, too. This is a criminal-ass hotbed. Do not get it twisted. New York is safe, and it's cool, and it's changing, but survival of the fittest, and only the strong survive. You always have to display physical dominance to not get fucked with out here, because I've been fucked with before. I've had bitches try to push me. I've had people try to, right? And fortunately, I'm strong. I'm super fit. But the first thing I did when I got to New York, the first thing that I did was take Krav Maga, which is Israeli, is by these Israeli soldiers, is self-defense course. Okay, I learned this, right? They come up behind you, you shove an elbow in their face. I took boxing lessons. I took a lot of self-defense courses. I learned judo. I learned the basic, things where I could, attack people, get them in the neck sort of stuff. Like, I learned about those pressure points where you could just go for and kill somebody if you had to. And that's the type of energy I carry around on the street, because I can't get fucked with. I don't have time for that. One time, this dude punched me in the head. A homeless-ass dude punched me in the head, and he ran. And that's when I learned, okay, I gotta learn. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta learn that. In New York City, it's cool, it's safe, but you gotta stay fucking ready, fam. This place is, you gotta be fit, you gotta be ready to either run or hold your ground. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to fight. I've never been in a fight. I mean, the guy punched me like that. It wasn't anything crazy. I didn't get a concussion. I didn't even have a headache. I don't want you guys to think that. But the fact that somebody would come up and touch me like that, and it could have been worse. It could have been way worse. So you always have to be watching, and that energy gets tiring after a while. I'll keep it, because again, you know what I'm saying, I can fuck you up confidently, no problem. I don't even have to raise my voice. I just know I can, because I know self-defense, and I lift every day, and I train, and I've taken, again, boxing technique, and I can fuck you up. So I'm not worried about it. But if you couldn't fuck somebody up, you should be worried about it, because this is the type of place where shit can go down. Seen it, been there. My friends that aren't as strong as me, I had this friend, they'd be like, oh my God, Amina, can you walk with me to the train? My girls, if they come visit me and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I got you. You know what I mean? You have to be strong out here. Yeah, and it's crazy too, because sometimes people like to run into you. Life hack, if you live in New York City, if you walk around with your elbow like this, or your hands and fists ready to punch somebody, a lot of times people get out of your way. I know that sounds crazy, but people here in New York have egos, and everybody thinks they're the shit and likes to test you. You see these guys in suits, and even the girls do it too. And everybody just thinks that they're in charge and they're the boss and they can just run all over you, and they'll brush up against you and stuff, and I hate that. So I go like this, and nobody ever brushes up against me. I go like this, and nobody ever brushes up against me. It's nice. Right? I don't like being touched by strangers. A lot of times people in the train like to sit right next to you. I put my bag down. And then, because people are such cowards, most of the time I leave the bag down, they ask to sit there, I'm like, no. And because most people just are too afraid to have that conversation, they won't. Or then you have the bullies that will continue to try, and then I just say, I don't want you to sit on me, and then they just walk away, right? So you have to learn how to just, stand your ground and pick your battles. I don't ever fight with people. I don't fight with people. But if they test me, they try to get in my space, I'm going to at least have to explain to you that you're not going to sit on me, right? And a lot of people are just afraid of other people. It's so sad. I've learned that about New York, is that there's a lot of everyone out here. There's a lot of pussy ass babies out here. There's a lot of people that ain't about shit. And that really bothered me. Okay, I thought New York City was everybody's about it and everybody's on their grind. And for the most part, they are. But damn, I saw another side of life out here. This is the dark side of New York. I saw another side of life in New York that I've never seen in West Virginia. Now, in West Virginia, there'd be homeless people every now and then. But it was like, there's like the two homeless guys, and everybody knows who they are. And like one of the homeless guys in West Virginia was actually a dentist at one point in his life. So part of him being homeless is like this minimalism shit. And like my mom knows him, and like everybody in the whole neighborhood knows the homeless guy, and they take care of him. That's what it's like to be homeless in West Virginia. You didn't really see despair the way I've seen despair in New York City. Like there's just levels of like despair, like the lowest depths of low that you see out here. And you have to be ready for that. I mean, you're just going to see people like, for instance, I mean, life can sustain itself for a pretty long time, because I've seen this guy, he doesn't have any legs or hands. And he's always in the train with a sign around his neck asking for money, and he can't speak either. He was in an accident. He's mute. He doesn't have hands or legs, and he has a sign, and he has a bucket. And you see that sort of stuff all the time. You see things that are indescribable out here, and you got to be ready for that. New York is not no game. You got to be all the way in. You have to be so about it, or I don't think you're going to make it. Now, as far as the DJing goes, this is definitely a hip-hop city. I play house, I play EDM, that's my genre, that's my specialty. I like dubstep, I like jungle, I like bass music, house music, as a DJ, as a producer as well. Do I listen to everything? Of course. I listen to Ariana Grande, I listen to 50 Cent, I listen to Paramore, I listen to Pitbull, I listen to underground people you don't know, I listen to world music, I listen to Beethoven, I listen to Bach, I listen to the Requiem, I listen to West Side Story, I go watch Lion King on Broadway. You know what I'm saying? I'll listen to pop and country, I'll listen to folk, I'll listen to binaural beats at night, I listen to sleep music, meditation music. Do I listen to all sorts of music? Yes. But as a DJ who performs, as a producer that makes music, no, I stick to my kind of sound. And I noticed in New York City that it's mostly hip hop. This is a hip hop city. This is a hip hop town. New York City wants hip hop. They want a little top 40 sprinkled in there, but they want hip hop. And I feel like that's cool and that's dope. And I came in and I've been doing my house and EDM thing. And I feel like the only place you can really find house and my sort of music is in Brooklyn. Believe it or not, is in Brooklyn. If you're not in New York, like Williamsburg, a lot of hipsters, they listen to all that. And, they have the warehouse scene and Output, Shemansky. There's a couple clubs out there that cater to just house and EDM. But I feel like the majority of nightclub establishments you go to, bars, all the way from downtown Wall Street to the Heights, 200th Street, all the way to the Bronx, all the way to Queens. Now you gotta understand Latin music too. Latin music, reggaeton, which is pretty much hip hop to me, but it's like New York City is Spanish music and hip hop, 100%. Like I think that sums it up. You're gonna find everything again. It's New York. You're gonna have everybody coming here to perform. You're gonna have Coldplay, Maroon 5. You're gonna have Nirvana. You're gonna have the Beatles. You're gonna have all the music in New York, but on a day-to-day, what our radio stations playing, what you hear on the streets, what people have in their headphones. When you think about New York, I've traveled a lot. I've been to 12 countries. I've DJed in other countries. New York City is hip-hop, 100%. Power 105, Hot 97, like hip-hop. That's what I think of when it comes to New York City. Yeah. So that's what I gotta say about that. I think the music out here, that's what you're gonna find. You're gonna find a lot of hip-hop. You're gonna find a lot of top 40. And that also creates a different nightlife vibe. So the nightlife out here, I feel like it's just totally different. hip hop creates a totally different atmosphere in the club. It's more about tables and bottles and knowing people and wearing heels and the tight dress and the scene. And like hip hop music, you gotta be up to date with like the drama to understand the music. You have to know who's dating who and what happened, because they shouting out the names of the babies and this and that event, and it's just like, whoa. That's the truth. I'm not making it up. Hip hop is like so much about now. It's about what's happening this week. Somebody drops a song and every word is about this BuzzFeed article that came out last week. You got to stay up to date. Hip hop is about like current culture. That's what I think of. Hip hop is like current events. Hip hop is the current events of music, right? So that creates a totally different club atmosphere. Whereas like when you go play house, nobody, I mean, yeah, when there's the banger tracks, and like of course house music can have that same vibe. Everybody knows the hot song at the moment. But for the most part, because there's not a lot of lyrics and you can just kind of flow with the music. That music's more about dancing and just being in the zone. I feel like most people wearing flat shoes. Nobody really gets dressed up to go to an EDM party. It's a rave. People are on that plur vibe, dancing and hugging each other and wearing glitter in their hair. So it's funny how music can change the culture of different nightclubs and different scenes. So yeah, in New York City though, this place is definitely a hip hop town. That's what I gotta say about that. And then it's also a movie and musical, like as far as like Broadway shows, haven. I mean, this is a place where you come to see theater. It's a place where you come to see comedy. Yo, the comedy scene in New York is dope, is lit. I love comedy. I took comedy lessons out here. One time I went to an improv show just for fun, just because I love going to comedy shows. That's like the one thing that I would say I like to do for fun. It's the one of few things that I actually go out of my way to do, is go see live comedy. And so in New York, it's lit for the comedy. It's lit for any sort of live show. But one time I was accidentally at this improv show and I won these lessons. So for 4 months, every week I'd go to this improv class, and improv is all about saying yes. And I'll leave it at this note. I'm going to wrap it up. I know it's been a long video. There's so many things I could say about New York. I haven't even scratched the surface after 7.5 years. But these are the things that I guess in this random flow of a video, because again, I don't edit. I don't have time to edit. I don't want to edit. In this random flow of the video, I guess I'm just talking about just the things that come to the top of my head. But improv is about saying yes. It's always about saying yes. You can't say no in improv. So if I come in and you create a scene for your partner, I would just say, hey, the sky is orange. That person can't say, no, it's not. The person just has to say, it's orange because there's so many carrots in it. You just go with whatever happens, right? So I took improv for 4 months, ended up having a show. All my friends came. It was super fun. Everybody laughed at my jokes. That was a crazy feeling to get on stage and share jokes and have people laugh. I only did it once in my life. I'm never going to do it again, probably. I'm never going to be a comedian, even though secretly I wish I was really funny. I really wish I wish I could make people laugh the way comedians could laugh, but here's the thing. I don't want to spread myself too thin. I committed to being a DJ producer. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a DJ producer. I'm making a video because this isn't requiring much. I'm just talking, right? I'm not a videographer. I'm not saying, hey, this video has a ton of production value. As a creative, I think you got to pick and choose your expertise. And that's another thing I've learned, because being a personal trainer, how I really started to make my living in New York and how I built my base and how being a personal trainer was my first business. And that taught me how you have to specialize and have a niche and really just stick to that focus if you want to do well. So creatively, I'm a DJ producer, and I'm sticking to the niche of my dubstep, bass, jungle, house music, right? See how that goes? And when I came to New York, I didn't say, I stuck to New York. I said, look, I'm going to be here 5 to 10 years, no matter what. So once you make a decision in life, fucking stick to it. Find decisions that you want to stick to, because that's how you make things happen. You have to want to stick to it. And then once you want it, you have to stick to it. Don't be out here faking your life for nobody. That's what I learned. Like, I first came here, I was going to be in the TV industry. I had all the contacts. I had the scholarships. I was the star student. Everybody in my family, I was the star of my family. I was about to be on national TV. I was about to be the fucking star. But I didn't want it. I didn't want it. Was I good at it? Sure. And was I in the industry? Yes. And I had everything from the outside, but the inside, I didn't really want it. I just wanted to be a trainer. I just wanted to get fit. I wanted to help people in the gym. I wanted to run around the city all day. So I took that leap and I made it happen. And then I started becoming a DJ, and I said, I'm going to kill the club. I'm going to make songs with people. I'm going to make music. I'm going to put it out there. Everybody's going to listen, and I'm making it happen. So I think in New York City, it's about making your dreams happen. This place is called the City of Dreams, and you can definitely make them happen. But if you stay too long, I think it ends up being the City of Nightmares. And I think that's kind of like the theme of where my album is headed, is like, New York City can be too much of a good thing. It can be too much. It's intense, it's loud, it's dirty, it's cold, it's rainy, it's disgusting, it's violent, it's grungy, it's gritty, it's terrible, it's lonely, it's isolation. It is the worst, and at the same time, it is the best, it's the most exciting, it's the most vibrant. There's so much art, there's so much flavor, there's so much energy. It's so unique. There's no place like it. It gives you life. It's New York. You have to hate it in order to love it. You have to love it first. Then you fucking hate it. But you always love it. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching this video, guys. And make sure you check out all my stuff on the internet. You know what I mean? I got these songs out. I got these remixes out. I got these mixes out. I got my fitness stuff. I'm all over the place. But it's coming together, guys. This is why I'm making these videos now. I'm so happy about IGTV. I can't get my point across in 1 minute. Talk about a 1 minute video. I don't got shit to say for 1 minute. I gotta need the whole 30 minute. So I'm gonna just go ahead and pause, and I'll be back. See you there.